Welcome to Teachings from the Masters with Daryl Shaun Price.
Hi, welcome. Glad you're here. So I want to talk today about two concepts that seem in conflict and I get a lot of questions about, and how they work together. The first one is living in the wish fulfilled, which means you're ignoring everything in your current reality that doesn't feel like the wish fulfilled. And the second one, take inspired action. And the reason why these often feel in conflict is because oftentimes the inspired action doesn't make any sense to your brain as to how that leads to living that wish fulfilled and having the thing you want to have. But the key to this is you accepting and understanding you don't know how. I'm going to tell a little personal story. So at the time in my life when I decided the only thing I wanted to focus on was becoming a master of manifesting miracles, that's it. I only wanted to do that. I decided I didn't care about all the other little details. I didn't care about all the little things in life. I just wanted to be so in alignment that miracles come quickly, easily, with grace. I don't have all the resistance that I've had in the past to how the miracles need to appear and what conditions they come with. Wanted to master manifesting miracles. So what I did, I got into that mode where I was imagining what it's like to just be able to think or say something and it happens and it appears. And a huge piece of that was letting go any idea of what's about to happen at all. I have no clue what's going to happen next. I have no clue what the next step is going to be. I have no clue what actions I'm about to take. That's the leaning into the inspired action part. So as I did this, here's what happened in my life. All of a sudden, the projects that I was working on fell apart. The income I had stopped coming in. People that I'd been connected to for years, suddenly those relationships dissolved in my life. And it felt like, to the conscious mind, oh no, panic, panic, panic. We have fires to put out. Now you don't have money. Now you don't have these projects. Now you're losing people. Oh my gosh, fear, 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 fear. Well, that doesn't make any sense. I want to become a master of manifesting miracles. And when I felt like I was manifesting miracles in my imagination, it felt peaceful and easy and wow, things just work out for me. So all of a sudden I come back to this life and oh my gosh, all this stuff doesn't feel like that. Because I'd spent so long in the attachments and the resistances that stopped me becoming that master of manifesting miracles, that momentum still exists in the reflection. If you're looking in the mirror and frowning and you turn your frown to a smile, it isn't just an instant click from smile to frown. There is a process of going from the frown to the smile. Sorry, from frown to smile, not smile to frown. And this is what's happening. And this is where I think a lot of people get tripped up. You go and you imagine, oh my gosh, and that financial freedom or whatever it is you want to imagine. In my case, becoming the master of manifesting miracles, knowing that no matter what, I will take any step that feels inspired and miracles will just happen for me. Okay, so you get into that mode. And then what happens is everything that isn't that, once you have aligned with that energy, will start to fall apart. So yeah, the projects I was working on, sure, there was potential there and I was getting good income and it looked like something that can grow, but it also was something I was forcing that didn't feel like me. And that's not being in alignment as the master of manifesting miracles. That's trying to force an outside to match what makes me feel comfortable, what makes my nervous system feel safe. So that all fell apart. And here's what happened next. As this is all falling apart, I had one idea. Go DoorDash. Go become a dasher. This doesn't make any sense. That feels like somebody who's struggling to make it, and well, I got to go out there and I got to DoorDash just to make the bills while I figure out what else is happening and blah, 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 blah. And logically, of course, my brain is having all these thoughts like, well, look, you're just a failure because now you went from all this amazing stuff to just DoorDashing and now you're just barely getting by. Luckily, I was in a space where I could quiet that and I was in complete alignment with, hey, I'm manifesting miracles. Inspired action was go DoorDashing. I don't have to know how that inspired action matches me becoming the master of manifesting miracles. I don't have to know at all how it's happening. I just have to have the faith enough to say, oh, this is inspired action. I'm going to go do it. And amazing things started happening. I found I was lit up connecting to people at all the places I went and getting to talk to people. And there was even one time, for example, a lady at one of the Starbucks where I picked up an order and said, wow, you are the nicest dasher I've ever met. Thank you so much. That connection fed my vibration, which kept me more in alignment with who I'm becoming versus, oh no, I don't know how to deal with all this stuff. I'm just going to sit here and hope it magically disappears. I never in my logical mind would have said, oh, well, I just better go DoorDash and somehow that will magically lead to me manifesting miracles and never having to worry about stuff again. That makes no logical sense. And then what's amazing is as that part of me lit up where I was connecting to people more, connecting to people more, connecting to people more, which I know is one of my natural gifts, I started to lean into and become more confident with that. And I started to connect to more people. And I started to find people everywhere. I went out one night and sang karaoke and found a now lifelong friend that I'm connected with on a regular basis and connected to so many people that night. And it wasn't just, oh, I go sing, go sit in my chair and watch people. No, I mean real connections. It was very, very few people that were in that room when I was singing that did not come up to me, that I did not have a conversation with, that I did not get to know, that now are connections of mine, which led to I got online a little more often and started connecting to groups there, which led to finding other people to connect to. Then who knows what opportunities those bring. But I promise you this, I don't know what they are. Those connections will create miracles. Because every single thing that happens is for you, and it's not that serious. In the long term, in the bigger picture, in the eternal scheme of things, if I live my entire life just doing DoorDash, who cares if I'm happy? If I live my entire life doing all these complicated projects that have all of this amazing money and other things, who cares as long as I'm happy? The key is this. The moment I decided with clarity what I wanted and aligned with that, everything that wasn't that fell apart. This is why it's important to live in the wish fulfilled and ignore anything that doesn't feel like that. Okay, well, business is falling apart, friendships falling apart, don't feel like that. Okay, whatever, I'm ignoring it. It's just playing out. It's just an experience. And it's for me. I don't need to know how. Okay, well, just being a DoorDasher doesn't feel like that. What does it matter? It felt good. It was fun to do. I got to go out and have some experiences I wouldn't have had otherwise. So I lean into that. Hope you guys are starting to get this. It isn't about what's happening out there, ever. And what's happening out there is never that serious. I've now had some amazing doors open where very soon I'm going to get to move to the place I've always wanted to be, where I'm going to get to be part of things that I never would have been part of had those things not fallen apart. And I'm connecting to people I never would have connected to had I not taken the inspired action. And yes, your mind is going to want to figure out all the pieces, but your mind figuring out all the pieces is trying to say, okay, new information, how do I fit it into the same old mold of who you've always been? That's why it's so important to ignore anything that does not feel like the wish fulfilled. That is why it's so important to take any inspired action, even if it doesn't make sense to your mind. Because you don't know the hows, and you're not meant to. And the moment you accept that, the moment you accept you have no idea what's about to happen in the external world, but you know who you are on the inside because you've stepped into alignment with that. And you know, if you follow the piece, whatever that inspired action is going to be the step that is the easiest on your path to your happiest life. You are done. My life, in fact, it's kind of an ongoing joke with people that are connected with me. If you know me pretty well, just watch me for about 2 to 3 months. Within 2 to 3 months, I will look completely different than what I looked like 2 to 3 months ago. And things will be completely different in my life. Why? Because I'm allowing miracles to happen. And it doesn't have to make sense how. But there's going to be people, like, for example, friends and family members that are often saying, Wait, you're doing what now? I thought you were doing this, and I thought you had this, and I thought this was your plan, and I thought this was your idea. I'm like, yeah, it was for a couple months, and it felt like inspired action. Now I'm doing this, and it feels like inspired action. And that's when you know it's really clicking, because you have no attachment to what is the outside world. You allow people to come and go who match the vibration of your wish fulfilled. You allow experiences to come and go that match the vibration of your wish fulfilled. Here's the reality of everything. You are the creator of everything in your reality. And everything in your reality is created by you for you. And I know you're going to say, well, what about the other people? What you perceive as other people are only perceived through your senses, through the lens that you've created of who you are. And, for example, if you're in a panic fear mode, people look scary and dangerous and they're all out to get you. If you're in an open, peaceful building mode where you feel like everything's aligned, wow, I keep meeting all these people that are so complementary and the synchronicities are amazing. And I'm talking to the right people that are my tribe and my people, and I find them and I connect them. Nothing out there has changed. It's all changed in here. So yes, you can create any life you want when you decide what that life is. Going back to my example, I want to become the master of manifesting miracles, which means I want to live in a way where I don't have to know what's going to happen at all. But I trust and believe and know that everything that happens is a miracle for me. Okay, as soon as you decide who you want to be, and it doesn't have to be that deep and etheric. You could say, I want financial freedom. You could say, I want better health. You could say, I want better relationships, or whatever it is you want. But when you decide what you want to experience and you align yourself with that experience, then yes, your only job is to follow inspired action and trust that it's all working out. The moment you can have enough faith to let go of everything on the outside, just follow the inspired action without needing any reason why that makes sense, you will create your happiest life and you will manifest miracles. And that's what I've learned as I've gone on this journey of I want to be a master of manifesting miracles. It has nothing to do with what happens on the outside. And as I look back, for example, the big project that fell apart where the money got taken away and things didn't quite click and that business didn't work out, and I even lost a years-long friendship during all of that process. I don't look back with regret and say, oh no, well this failed and I did this wrong and I did da-da-da-da-da-da. No, I look back and go, oh, it actually feels good to let that go. There were pieces of me I was sacrificing to force that to happen. So of course it needs to be taken away. And the way it got taken away, while it may not be ideal in a logical sense, was the easiest way to leave that project with causing the least ripples. But here's the thing. Our conscious mind, whenever something happens that seems negative from our perspective that we currently have, we run around and try to fix it. But this is why it's so important. When I work with people on alignment, we're not just working on one piece. We're working on the spirit, the mind, the body, and the heart all in sync. The body being the nervous system. The body being your initial reaction to danger. Sure, I'm not going to tell you that I had no reaction. There were times my body reacted and there was fear, and there was even a time I'm like, oh, I might be experiencing my first ever panic attack when this whole thing was falling apart. So what did I do? I took some deep breaths. Inhale, exhale longer than I inhale until my body calmed down, the cortisol levels went down, and I felt safe, realizing nothing is happening right now. It's all in my imagination of what could happen that might be bad based on my current beliefs. Then I took my mind and said, all right, I want you to focus just on the feeling of what it feels like. Just watch it. Oh, the pain in the chest. Oh, the fear. Oh, these things happen. Okay, just watch it. It's not going to last forever. It is just an experience you're having. And I know that fear is just my conscious mind trying to force things to fit into current belief systems that I want to let go of anyway. So all that is an old belief system playing out. Just watch it until it passes. And then to get back in alignment with spirit, I ask myself, now, what feels like peace? And whatever the answer is, I follow it. It doesn't matter what it is. I take that inspired action. At that time, when I was having that big struggle and had that reaction that I had to monitor and practice that non-reaction technique on, the answer to what feels like peace was to go watch an old kids show that I was nostalgic for. And it was simple and it felt good and I was fine. That was it. But that doesn't make any sense. You can't just go watch some old kids cartoon and it'll solve the problem, right? Because I'm not solving the problem. What I'm doing is creating my reality by where my vibration and my alignment is. Because I get to choose who I am. And when I choose who I am, and I step into that identity, automatically the world shifts to match, which may include a lot of attachments that have a lot of energy on it crumbling around you. That's beautiful. You know, I remember working with a client, this was a few years ago, where we started working together and she really started to get clear of who she was and what she wanted in life. And all of a sudden, things just started falling apart around her. And I remember she was kind of in the panic mode, in the fear mode. I said, hold on, let's take a look at this. You have all these things crumbling around you that before you started to practice living in alignment were your biggest stressors, were the things that you had said you were always giving up who you are to please others, to fulfill obligations, to do all these things that really just drained your energy. Well, you just stepped into and committed to living in alignment. Of course they're falling apart. Isn't that beautiful? You don't have to go and fix every little one thing at a time. You are so loved that the moment you step into this identity, anything that doesn't match it will crumble. That's the moment you keep going. That's the moment you keep the faith. That's the moment you trust the process and say, oh, if this is crumbling, I allow it to crumble. Ooh, if this new thing flows into my being and it's not what I normally would do, but it feels good, I allow it to flow into my being. Stop putting all your energy on manipulating the external circumstances. Right here is where you create. Everything out there is just a reflection, a reminder, an omen to you of what you are creating, where your energy is, and what might need some tweaking. So yeah, if something comes up and it constantly brings up fear, oh, well, there's a place I need to tweak. Another experience happens and you're always frustrated at, oh, well, there's something I need to tweak. You're tweaking your inner being, not the outside circumstances. You're allowing the outside circumstances to play themselves out. So I want you to take a look. I want you to take a look at yourself right now. What are the things that are just falling apart in life that you are trying to force yourself to fix or fighting to maintain? And what are the things that are inspired action that feel good that just don't make sense, so you keep pushing them off or putting them in the back burner or doing more research or buying another course instead of just stepping into it? And I want to know. Put it in the comments. I want to know what it is that you are inspired to do that you might be pushing off because it doesn't make sense. And if there's any way I can help, I'm happy to help. Because you are a powerful creator. You are the creator of everything in your reality. There is nothing greater than the power of you. When you are in alignment, you will naturally create your happiest life. Because whatever you're in alignment with, whatever that wish is that you want, that wish fulfilled, as you stay in alignment with that, that vibration will automatically shift the world around you. And when you take inspired action and follow the peace, you will manifest miracles. And you will be on the easiest path to bringing that into reality in the reflection. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. See you next time.